What's going on, guys? Welcome back to post-game reaction. Dolphins just beat the Jets in overtime 32-26. It was a very exciting game. A bit too much excitement for me personally as a Dolphins fan, but we're going to break it down, go over a couple of different things. But the first thing I really want to talk about was Tua's performance. He threw for over 300 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, which is pretty solid. But the reason he essentially had to do that because we started passing the ball more than we were just running it. So I'm not too upset with the play calling or anything like that. At the end of the day, I think McDaniels did a decent job with the play calling because we were not really running the ball. The game was kind of high scoring, and that's just how it ended up being. And obviously, when you're passing, you're going to score more touchdowns. But when you look at it offensively, we know Tua put up some stats. You know, Johnny Smith, the TD in overtime, and got the ball into Waddle and Hill's hands, which is exactly what Tua needed to do. And, you know, at times he would get the ball to A-Chain in the flat. But I want to see more passes down the field. It kind of seems like Tua is still putting the ball in a window, which I don't exactly like. When you see some of those deep passes that were missed, it kind of seems like he was putting the ball in a spot, you know, the receiver was meaning to catch it outside, but the ball was actually inside, or vice versa, you know, one of those two, which is kind of a little bit of a flaw. We need Tua to get the ball on the receivers a little bit better. So when everybody talks about his accuracy, you know, is his accuracy really there? It's not always there. So that's what I think the Dolphins need to improve on. But aside from that, offense played pretty solid. I like what Tua was able to do with the ball offensively. And A-Chain was a decent part of the offense, but mostly Hill and Waddle, which is what I like to see. So now if we talk about it defensively, we obviously know there's major issues across the board. Dolphins defense couldn't really stop the Jets offense, which is surprising because this Jets offense isn't anything fantastic, but it seemed like Rodgers was almost like his primetime days, even though I knew he was going to fumble it one way or the other because Rodgers is kind of just washed at this moment, which is kind of unfortunate. When I grew up as a kid watching him, you know, it was always so fun to watch. But now when we're playing against him in a division game, you know, I'm not rooting for him, which is kind of makes sense. But it's just sad to see his downfall. That's all pretty much. Because like watching all those high memories, and now you see the low lights. It's kind of unfortunate to see. So defensively, we have issues. I believe Brooks is injured, so we gotta wait and see. Maybe not. I thought I saw his injury. We gotta wait and see how his health is going into the next game. But the Dolphins get at the must-needed win because without this win, we probably would be basically eliminated from the playoffs. We still have hope, but we need a lot of help from Denver, LA, or Baltimore. Probably not Baltimore, probably LA, the Chargers, and the Broncos. Those two teams need to lose at least 2 games for us to have a shot, basically. So, all in all, it was a very exciting game. I was kind of pumped, but the thing is, it shouldn't have even gone to this. Like, the Jets are not a good team. Dolphins need to play better, but it seems like we can't have we basically can't have dominant performances. We're not blowing people out like we were a couple of years ago. And against the good teams, we're usually getting blown out. We're getting destroyed. So Dolphins definitely have a lot of issues. Tua had a solid day today. I expected him to have a pretty good day, but I expected them to win in more convincing fashion. The Jets should not have been putting up 26 points. They too settled for a couple of field goals. I didn't expect our defense to play so bad, but at the end of the day, I'm not super surprised because I know who we have on defense. They're not the best players, but I expected our defensive coordinator to play a little bit better scheme. However, it is what it is. Dolphins win this game, and we should be excited to be moving to 6-7. We have a tough task next week against the Texans, which is a must-win in Houston on the road, so it's going to be tough. I'm going to break that one down in a later video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Drop a comment. See you guys later. Peace.